Welcome back to another episode of Business Highlight, a show by the Boca Raton Tribune. In Business Highlight, we talk to local companies and nonprofits about what they do in our community. And my name is Pedro, obviously. And if you haven't done it by now, make sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel at bocatribune.tv. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Arthur Adler, the chairman of the board of Boca West Children's Foundation. Arthur, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I am fabulous. Thank you, Pedro.
Thank you for coming on. I know we were talking about off the air about all the stuff that you guys do and how important it is for the community. And I think it's great to have you on the show and just tell our listeners more about what you guys do. But before we get started, introduce yourself to us a little bit, like who you are, what you do, how long you've been here, things like that.
Well, I've been in the Boca area for 30 years. I retired 20 years ago from my sports marketing business and broadcast business. And I learned to play golf and became impassioned. And I thought that was going to be it. And about 10 years ago, I live in a community called Boca West Country Club.
Mm-hmm.
And the club had been around for about 30 years at the time. And the members decided they wanted to give back to those in the community who were in need. And they asked me to find a mission to do that. And I thought initially, of course, because of where we lived, that the elderly would be something we would reach out to.
Uh-huh.
But Pedro, I was shocked that in a very brief period of time, I found that the amount of children who were truly at risk in our area
Right.
was frightening. And that immediately became our mission, to aid the children at risk and their families in the Boca Raton area initially, and now it's spread throughout the Tri-County area.
Mm-hmm. So for those that might not know what it is, could you tell us a bit more and explain what Boca West Children's Foundation does?
Sure. We're somewhat unique. We're very altruistic. We just want money. We vet almost 100 charities every single year.
Mm-hmm.
If it fits our mission, we will then sit with the charity and create a project. And the projects could be as diverse as a pediatric dental clinic with the Caridad Center in Boynton.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a backpack program with Boca Helping Hands, delivering 1,600 backpacks every Friday with 6 meals for the kids on the weekends. It's just could be after school activities and keeping the children safe. But we put money towards the project, and then at the end of the year audit that the project is functioning, and then those people can apply again for another grant.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, we do not give to general funds. We give to projects we create with the charities.
Man, that's a good segue to, what are some of the projects that you guys have done in the past that maybe our listeners have heard of?
We have gone actually statewide through our program with a Place of Hope, an anti-human trafficking program.
Mm-hmm.
It's a program working with police departments, hotels, bus terminals, anything to intercept children that are at risk being human trafficked, even out on the migrant farms west of us. We live in paradise, but it's frightening as to how our children can be engulfed into some horrific situations.
Right.
And instead of reading about it in the newspaper, we're out there trying to fight the gangs and fight some very bad people out there and keep the kids safe.
Mm-hmm.
So anti-human trafficking has been a big problem we're trying to solve. Foster children and making sure that they are in the best place they possibly can. Ideally, hopefully getting them reunited with their family. And if not, making sure that the foster homes are the right places for the kids.
Right.
And even reaching adoption services for the kids. food, it always comes down to food. We found out early on, Pedro, I put together a board of very rich, intelligent men and women, and we said we're gonna stop this cycle of poverty that's out there, and that's what that's going to be our success point, and
Right.
it's going to be done through education. And we found out that you cannot educate a child that comes to school every morning hungry. You cannot educate a child that hasn't slept the night before because they're sleeping on the floor. And you cannot educate a child who has an impacted tooth and is in pain all the time. So we stopped the direction we were going in, and we started to attack the root causes of why that child could not be educated. And we have a pediatric dental clinic. We have given out 7,700 beds in less than 5 years
Wow.
to children, and food is always the main part of our ability to help the kids out through many of our activities.
You know, I think it was a week or two ago, I got a notification that you guys awarded over $1.4 million in grants to different organizations. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? How that came to be? How impactful that is to the community?
We started 11 years ago, and 10 years, I think, was practice for this past year.
Yeah.
And everything that we've all had to go through. But think of all you went through, and then think of a child who was at risk at the beginning of COVID, and put that child. Think of that child as being in an abusive situation and then being locked in a house for 2 months. Think of that child as being hungry, going to bed hungry at night, and now truly has no means of getting food. So we were fortunate on March 1st of 2020 to have the last major event, 880 people. We raised over $1 million. I somehow hugged every one of those people and stayed well. And we have been raising money, and our people in Palm Beach and Broward counties have been extraordinary. So we've given out 1.4 million. Actually, it's up to now 1.7 million.
Wow.
In grants so far since October 1st of last year. And we will hopefully get to the 2 million level before our fiscal year ends this September.
Wow, that's amazing. What are some, I don't know, maybe some new events or programs that the Boca West Foundation is preparing for this year that maybe our listeners can, get excited for?
Well, one is going to be the second year of. We received a wonderful check from one of our donators, and he said, back in November, he said it's going to be a very, very poor holiday period for a lot of the kids. Please accept this check and go buy bikes for them. Well, we created an initial program called Bikes for Tykes, and so far we've given out 600 bikes and training wheels and helmets to foster kids and kids at need. And we'll be running that program again starting next November. Next month, an offshoot of that is called My First Bike. And we will be giving out 220 bikes at Florence Fuller Child Development Center and at the YMCA of the Palm Beaches to kids, 5-year-olds who are graduating out of pre-K into kindergarten. We do a golf tournament every year. This will be our 9th annual. The theme this year, we have worked out an arrangement with NASCAR.
Wow.
We have 500 golfers at Boca West Country Club on the 4 fabulous golf courses there. It's the best golf tournament in South Florida. Thank you. And the theme this year is the Boca West 500 with a NASCAR theme. So all those who want to participate. We're pretty sold out all the time, but we like new people. Just go on bocawestfoundation.org and you'll see more material upcoming very shortly. We created a thing with our inability, because of our inability to socialize. We created a thing called the partnership.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a teaching program for your kids and your grandkids about the kids in need, and at a very young age, how kids can help. And basically, you bought shares in the partnership, $500 shares.
Mm-hmm.
And 11 of our charities created wish lists, a project they could never have funded.
Right.
And you voted for which project you wanted. And each of the top 5 voted charities got $50,000 for their wish list. The winning charities for the first year were Joe DiMaggio's Children's Hospital, JAFCO, the Place of Hope, Sweet Dream Makers,
Mm-hmm.
and I forgot one.
That's okay.
But we'll be doing that program again next spring.
That's awesome. Changing the gears a little bit, and talking about, like you mentioned, about last year and all the things that happened. How did COVID-19 affect the Boca West Foundation, and what were some ways you guys were able to rise above that and pivot your mindset?
We recognized how dire the situation was to become for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And we do a lot of camp programs. We do a lot of anti-gang programs. But we realized we had to get to fundamentals. Working with the Boys and Girls Club of Palm Beach County, working with the Educational Foundation of Palm Beach County, working with Boca Helping Hands, food and education became the most important thing. The lack of ability of the kids to go to school, in the neighborhoods we service, the lack of the ability of the kids to even follow. They had no tablets. They had no Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
We worked with Hotwire and through the Educational Foundation and gave out thousands of tablets so that the kids could continue their education during the height of COVID. We worked with the Boys and Girls Club, and we bought the entire produce of a lot of the farms out west, and created a program called Farms to Families. And with the incredible help of the Boys and Girls Club and their 11 facilities, 16 facilities throughout Palm Beach County, we did distribution so that there was fresh fruit and fresh vegetables for these families every single day that they could have. Food was really important, Pedro.
Yeah, for sure. I bet. That's awesome. It's great that you guys did all that for the kids, and they definitely were the least that people were thinking about at that time. But that's really cool that you guys did all that for them. Jumping on a little bit to you, how long have you been the chairman of the board at Boca West Children's Foundation?
Some may feel too long. I originated the foundation back in May of 2010.
Mm-hmm.
I continue on as chairman. I have 14 of the most special men and women who are extremely passionate and hardworking and generous. And we started last year this affiliate, the Children's Foundation of Palm Beach County, which spreads our wings beyond just the South County area.
Uh-huh.
And we are very active in the North County with charity and children and their families.
That's awesome. So you've been on the chairman for a while. What would you say is some of your most memorable experiences or moments with the Boca West Children's Foundation?
I think initially it was such an incredible learning. I grew up with privilege.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Miami Beach, actually, and then in New York City. Um, and as much as in my business career through sports and show business and broadcasting, I was able to see a lot of this country. I never hung around long enough to truly understand the ills and the people that were being subjugated through poverty
Mm-hmm.
in this country. And the last 10 years, very honestly, Pedro, have been the best 10 years of my life. And I
Yeah.
was president of the Yankees through 2 championships and the Islanders through 4. The
Wow.
last 10 years have been fabulous. Um, I I think what really caught my attention, um, we do a program called with the Boys and Girls Club called Home for the Holidays, Adopt a Family, and we take about 300 kids
Yeah.
every December on a shopping spree through Old Navy. We have 150 volunteers and they shop with the kids. Each kid has $50. It's most likely the only new clothes these kids are going to have for the year.
Right. Yeah.
And it is the most fun for everybody. And then we take them back to Boca West and we have a pancake breakfast and there's a theme and uh, a lot of bacon and M&Ms and waffles and whatever
Mm.
being eaten. And I walked with one of my board members with 2 of the kids into this beautifully decorated room, and and this young lady said, "Am I in a dream?" And my board member Yvonne Ackerman said, "No, this is not a dream. This is going to be your future." And I realized that we are, our minds and the minds of this 8-year-old were in such different places,
Yeah.
and we needed to get everyone to understand what that is. The other thing, and what I missed desperately this past year, I would spend my off time either filling bags at Boca Helping Hands that go out each day to the families that food supplies for the families. It was my old time when I was picking weeds in my garden. It was very, very stress free and helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I miss that, uh, but I miss just the interaction with the kids. I miss going over to Florence Fuller and showing up and having my legs hugged by 200 kids just because they're happy to see me.
Yeah.
Uh, their favorite thing, Pedro, is when I get down on the floor and we're doing little computer games or blocks or whatever, and then the entire class has to help me get up. They love that. They think that's the funniest thing in the world.
That's awesome. That's great. Arthur, what are some ways that our listeners can help out the Boca West Children's Foundation?
Well, if they go to Boca West Foundation.org, you'll find all of our programs. Um, with COVID receding, and especially come the summer and the fall, um, all charities, the 31 we support, and ones that others might support in different areas. Never discount volunteering. The charities desperately need that type of interaction. They need it. It saves them underlying costs, but it also brings the problem home and is the best PR for them to let people know what the charity is doing to help whoever they do support. We
Mm-hmm.
have dozens of programs that will come back online now that we get through the vaccination program. And
Mm-hmm.
the other thing is money, because we less than 5% of all the money we take in goes to our administrative costs. 95 cents on the dollar goes directly to the projects that
Yeah.
we're over $13 million now for 11 years. And our goal is to have a spectacular 2021 and 2022, and hopefully start truly making a dent in the poverty and the safety of the children in our area.
Yeah. Well, guys, we've been talking to Arthur, the chairman of the board of the Boca West Children's Foundation. If you guys want more information on what they do, head over to bocawestfoundation.org. Arthur, before I let you go, I asked this question of everyone, so you're not any different. What's some advice that you would give to someone who wants to get involved in nonprofit work?
I think it would be what happened with me, and that is you may have absolutely no interest. You may have your time being taken up with golf and cards and family and whatever. I would ask everybody, go online, go see what the needs are by a lot of different charities. Pick one of them. Go over there, get involved in some manner. I can guarantee you it could be the beginning of the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's amazing. Again, check out their website at bocawestfoundation.org for more information on what they do. Arthur, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us today. Really appreciated your input and everything that you guys are doing for the community.
Pedro, thank you for the opportunity.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up another episode of Business Highlight. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to follow us on social media at Boca Tribune, or subscribe to our YouTube channel and see previous episodes of the show. It's bocatribune.tv. But for now, have a great week, and we'll see you guys next time.